Hello folks and welcome to the show. My name is Asa Morris and this is Weird Week. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you haven't, make sure you check out our new video series where I do a lot of debunking or in general discussing TikTok videos I come across. That's also available here on our channel. Also, please swing over to your preferred podcast provider and check out Low Strangeness. I'm going to keep doing this bit every week where I just point, where I give a much more in-depth look at a wide array of topics. This week we are looking at a new UAP database being put together by Redditors, as well as some of the aspects I find uncomfortable about CE5, or Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. If you don't know what that is, well, don't Google it, just go listen to the show. And then subscribe to it, obviously. And of course, make sure you're following us on all the socials. Instagram and TikTok are where I'm most active. However, I am also on Twitter, where my half-brained immediate thoughts become known. Make sure you do the big four: like, comment, subscribe, bell, and share, I guess. So big five. Make sure you do the big five, and let's get into it, because so with the upcoming disclosure in June, I have found myself analyzing a lot of the potential aspects of that. What would a full disclosure mean? Well, chaos, most likely. So chances are, at best, we will get a light disclosure. Something along the lines of, yes, we see dozens of these things each year that we cannot define. Which, if you're anything like me, you'll just roll your eyes and go right back to bed. However, an interesting thing has happened where even though the military is publishing these events, letting them be known, confirming that many of them are real, a good section of the general public still refuses to believe that it could be true. If you look at that Fox interview with John Radcliffe, look at the way the anchor reacts. She cannot handle the news even though it's been public for the last 3 years. So because of this, I keep thinking about the Nimitz Tic Tac encounter. It was an incredibly bizarre and officially recognized event. However, despite the pilot videos and the official statement, it does not fit easily into our daily worldview. So, on Sunday, a Reddit user posted a general recreation of what it would have looked like were you actually there. This is, to me, so deeply unsettling. This is about as accurate a portrayal as possible in a single picture. This is what was seen and encountered. It is difficult for me to really accept it, so I understand why other people are having trouble as well. Also, I was able to dig up a second visual recreation of the scene, with a bit more of a dramatic air to it, but still striking and in my bones, deeply unsettling. If you are one of the folks who is still having trouble accepting the gravity of this situation, I highly suggest coming to terms with it now, because I assure you, this is only the tip of the proverbial iceberg. On Monday, a video popped up of a security officer who was patrolling an empty house which is supposedly haunted and currently being used as office space for a real estate company. I've increased portions of the volume as it does get a little quiet in spots.
Okay, it straight up sounds like there's somebody fucking upstairs. And there's nobody here.
The poster, who goes by the name Brass Ninja, had this to say: "While I was checking the basement, I noticed a light on that should have been off. When I went to turn it off, it began flickering and I heard what sounded like heavy footsteps and furniture being moved around the floor above me. I can confirm that I was definitely alone because I had just patrolled the entire building and property. A couple of my coworkers have their own ghost stories as well from this property." Some users have noticed what appears to be a face above one of the pipes. This is what they were looking at. Although, to me, this seems like pareidolia. Also on Monday, YouTuber DubJ315 posted an interesting video of what appears to be contrails without a plane. In the description, DubJ clarifies that the audio is a jet flying overhead above him and not the object that he is filming. I'd love to hear your opinions on that. On Tuesday, InfinityExplorers.com posted an article detailing the continuing saga of cattle mutilations in the Pacific Northwest. To quote the article, the latest cases occurred this month in southern and eastern Oregon. Police said they will introduce additional patrols and urge local residents to be more vigilant. Sergeant Mitch Madden said police are currently investigating cases of killing animals in which different parts of their bodies were removed. This streak follows 5 mutilations in the last year. In most cases, the animals had their eyes, udder, intestines, genitalia, ears, and even cheeks removed. The organs were cut from the cows even when they were alive, but at the same time, no footprints were ever found showing resistance or kicking on the part of the animals, or other footprints around it, nor blood. Also, other livestock or scavengers in the area often do not approach the remains. In the popular sphere, cattle mutilations have been occurring in the United States and around the world for decades, always with the same MO. I do have my doubts that increased patrolling or civilian vigilance will do anything to help. Senator Marco Rubio, one of the folks responsible for adding the UAP stipulation in the COVID bill, leading to the disclosure event in June, told Fox Business that he now is not sure they're going to come in on time because they miss a lot of deadlines on these sorts of things. He also said, "We'll get a report at some point. Second is, I'm not sure that by June 1st they'll have reached a hard conclusion about what they're dealing with." Now, I assume viewers of this show are at least moderately well-versed on the history of the UFO UAP subject, and that the idea that being this far into it, Roswell was in 1947 for Christ's sake, that the military would have no conclusion about what they're dealing with seems, to be generous, a little silly. Unless, of course, the plan is to just deny everything before the Nimitz, he joked. Well, another Sky Trumpet report, this time in Blackberg, Sweden. This, to me, sounds almost musical, like an organ cranked up outside, not the brash and blasting tones of normal Sky Trumpet reports you hear so often. However, this tone is not incredibly dissimilar to other reports of general hums or tones that people have reported in towns all over the world. Back to Oregon. On Thursday night, residents of Portland began posting videos of this ripping through their sky. Of course, the usual UFO talk began. However, some more grounded residents suggested a meteor breaking up in the atmosphere. But the most accepted explanation, which as of this writing has neither been confirmed nor denied, is that this is debris from the SpaceX launch last week, re-entering the atmosphere incorrectly and burning up. The satellites got up there, so not a total failure. Also, cool light show. Elon Musk is responsible for so many misidentified sightings. On Friday, Reddit user Artichoke69 posted this photo of a green orb, insisting in their original title that they watched it move around in crazy patterns and dissipate. I 100% call bullshit. This is clearly lens flare caused by the sun, as we discussed in a previous episode. In fact, here's a picture I took recently in a cemetery with the exact same effect. There was, of course, no video included in the post to show the orb dancing, only a series of photographs. So I cannot entertain the idea that this person witnessed it moving, or, to be honest, even witnessed it. Also, near the end of the week, reports began to surface of Tic Tac shaped drones circling aircraft carriers back in 2019 in the Pacific Ocean that nobody knew where they came from and no one has claimed responsibility for. Here's a moderately long but infinitely interesting CNBC clip describing the event.
These unidentified aerial vehicles might have been drones launched by nearby ships, but no luck. And when they reached out to a Carnival cruise ship, they also reported seeing these mysterious lights as well. So right now, what we know about this pretty brazen incursion comes from entries into the ship's logs of the USS Kidd, the USS Rafael Peralta, and the USS John Finn, which over the course of several nights in 2019 were swarmed by unidentified aerial vehicles. One log entry describing a back-and-forth left-right maneuver that's similar to what a commander of a strike fighter group saw in the same general area back in 2004 off the coast of California when he and a group of fighter jets spotted an unidentified flying objects they described as a white Tic Tac. Take a listen to what he says happened right after they first spotted it, bouncing back and forth left and right over the surface of the water.
And it starts coming up at us. We call it two-circle fight, but it's coming up, I'm coming down. So it literally is aware we're there. There's no doubt because it mirrored me. So here it is. I cut across, and I get to about half mile of it, so I'm about halfway across the circle. As it gets in front of me, it just goes poof, and it's gone. And it's gone like that fast.
Now, in these latest incidents, we know the Navy deployed special recon teams to record evidence from the ship's deck, but so far no evidence of what they saw has come to light. But we are told evidence from these incidents are just a small part of a report requested by the Senate Intelligence Committee that could include a large number of unexplained sightings of flying objects that seem to operate with impunity over secure, restricted areas of U.S. airspace. And that report is due to Congress by mid-June. Frank, back to you.
So, Gadi, great reporting on this. So I think the question that a lot of people are going to ask is, were the ships ever in any real danger from these drones? Were there security concerns about the crew members or the equipment on those ships?
That is the biggest question, and right now a lot of it seems to be classified. But the big question today is, do we have drones? Do we have another country or another technology on Earth that is able to act with impunity when it comes to U.S. restricted airspace? Or is there something else going on? And a lot of people in Congress seem to be wanting answers to that specific question.
I'm telling you, come to terms with it. Ending this week with something a little more lighthearted and a lot more fucking eerie, we have this clip from TikTok user Royale with Cheese, who on Saturday heard something disturbing his chickens.
Came out here to look and see. I don't see anything up there. I don't know what's going on. Hello? Do you hear that? Hello? 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 I told you I'm not fucking.
Now, at first, the only thing I found intriguing about this clip was the suspense and his seemingly genuine fear. Besides the shadow near the coop, I didn't see anything. However, later, another user slowed down the video, brightened it up quite a bit, and shows us something in the chicken coop. Here's that video. And that's our week. As always, there were a good amount of reports, videos, photos, whatever, that I could have talked about and, didn't, as you can see. If you happen to see something that you think we should talk about on this show or on the podcast, get a hold of us on any of the socials or directly at lowstrangeness@gmail.com. And like every week, I feel like I should say, I am not saying that any of these things are true or real or scary or fake. I'm only presenting to you things that caught my attention that I think deserve yours. I do try to point out fakes, like that person kneeling in the chicken coop in that last video, but that isn't necessarily the point of this show. If you would like more in-depth discussion on various topics, once again, check out Here Comes the Gag, Low Strangeness, our podcast that is pretty much available everywhere. Season 1 of that podcast will be coming to an end toward the end of April, so make sure you get in now before I take about a month off between seasons. Once again, I am Asa Morris. This has been Weird Week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we really hope to see you again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, bell, share, the big 5, all of that. It really helps, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Take care of yourself and the people around you, and I'll see you next week when I'm sure I'll say...